With fall 2020 rapidly approaching, I thought it would be about time to make a list covering 10 upcoming anime of the new season. Despite 2020 having a rough start and getting progressively worse with each passing month, it seems that the anime season is going to be finishing up with some solid entries. From highly anticipated adaptations to remakes aiming to eternally scar unsuspecting viewers, here are 10 new anime of fall 2020. Before we begin, be sure to drop a like and subscribe down below for more anime top 10s, and without further ado, let's get right into the list. Now I bet seeing Danmachi here was a surprise to no one. With this show's continuing success and popularity, it was no surprise that it would be getting a new season so soon. Following the events of the war game, season 3 will include several new adventures along with a new god that's manipulating things from behind the scenes. The climax of this new season will feature Bell taking a stand in a war where he's trying to stop both sides from destroying each other. Danmachi has finally started reaching its more serious points, and this upcoming season will serve as a catalyst. You should prepare yourself for more deep-rooted moments that you would have never expected from this lighthearted show. Most of the main animators at JC's staff from the previous seasons will be returning for the third, giving them the perfect opportunity to up their game. From the creator of Bleach himself comes Burn the Witch. This one-shot series is the latest installment of the Bleach universe, taking place 12 years after the Quincy Blood War. This anime follows the day-to-day lives of two witches, Noelle and Naini, working at the western branch of Soul Society located in Reverse London. As a parallel to only Soul Reapers can see hollows, only inhabitants of London who live in the hidden reverse side can see dragons. Even then, only a select few become qualified enough as witches or wizards to make direct contact with them. 72% of all deaths in London are actually related to dragons in some way, despite the majority of people actually being unable to see them. The two protagonists of our story work for Wing Bind, an organization created for dealing and conserving dragons. Their mission is to protect the unsuspecting people of London from a swift yet tragic end. If you're a fan of Bleach, make sure to add this show to your upcoming watch list.
Burn the Witch.
An anime for manga readers needs no introduction. Jujutsu Kaisen is a series that has received immense praise for its brilliant magic system and amazing world building. Despite having a fairly slow start, this series is quick to ramp up the pace with its fast-paced action. This anime is set in a world where supernatural monsters known as curses terrorize humanity from the shadows, and powerful humans bearing the name of Jujutsu sorcerers use mystical arts to exterminate them. When a high school student named Yuji finds a dried up finger of the legendary curse Sakuna, he gets forced into a conflict he was never a part of. After the curse decided to attack him, Yuji made the decision resulting in him gaining the power to combat curses, but also unwittingly unleashed the legendary curse into the world once more. Though Yuji can control and confine Sakuna to his own body, the Jujutsu world classifies Yuji as a dangerous, high-level curse who must be exterminated. Up next, we have our Last Crusade, or the Rise of a New World. This anime is set in a world where long ago an ancient energy called star spirits were discovered. These spirits have the unique attribute of granting compatible hosts magical abilities. Those who were compatible will then develop a birthmark somewhere on their body. Because of this, people who are not compatible with star spirits began to fear being discriminated against and oppressed. Through a series of events, this later sparked a war between normal people and compatible hosts later called witches. As time progressed, two nations were formed: the Mechanical Utopia and the Paradise for Witches. The protagonist of the story is Isuka, a young swordsman who is the Mechanical Utopia's strongest fighter, and the Ice Witch, who is considered to be the strongest of the witches. For one side to lose either one of these two would result in an almost instant victory. Gotta admit, this show has a definitely interesting setup, but we're gonna have to wait and see how the story unfolds in the following months. Finally, completing the big three of webcomics is Noblesse. With Tower of God and God of High School coming out in back-to-back seasons, it was only natural for Noblesse 2 as well. This series follows the story of Rai, a Noblesse vampire who awakens from his 820-year slumber in South Korea. Noblesse are the highest tier of vampire and serve as the protector of all other nobles. Due to his long slumber, Rai has no knowledge of mankind's advancements and scientific successes. As an attempt to blend in with modern society, he enrolls into a school that his loyal servant Frankenstein runs as the principal. Now, unlike Tower of God and God of High School, I actually haven't read Noblesse, but from what I hear, this series is unlike the typical vampire anime. This show is deeply rooted in mystery and dangerous adventures against a secret organization while uncovering Rai's past. Halfway through this list is an anime original written by the creator for both Angel Beats and Charlotte. The Day I Became a God follows the story of Yota Narukam, a high school graduate who spends his days preparing for the university entrance exams. His life is forever changed when he meets a young girl named Hina, a once ordinary girl who awakened as a goddess with predictive abilities. You see, Hina foresaw the end of the world and for that reason sought out someone to spend her final days with. At first, this was difficult for our protagonist to believe, but after witnessing Hina's future visions, he slowly came to believe them. Thus begins the start of the two's lively summer together before the end of the world. Seeing who wrote this, I'm sure you can guess what type of ending we're gonna probably end up with. Be prepared to bawl your eyes out.
君たちに依頼したいのが新幹線の襲撃だ。
Next up, we have Akudama Drive, an anime produced by Studio Period in collaboration with Tokyo Games. This new anime is written by Danganronpa creator Kazutaka Kodaka and has numerous members of the Danganronpa team working on it. Due to a war that broke out between Kanto and Kansai, the world ended up being divided. At the end of the war, Kansai became a dependent state in Kanto, resulting in Kansai's politics and police power declining and crimes becoming more and more common by the day. The new band of criminals that were responsible for the drastic increase in crime are called Akudama. Who would have ever thought that Studio Period still had it in them to make something that looks this good? This cyberpunk fantasy featuring Dorohedoro styled music definitely needs to go on everyone's watch list for the upcoming season.
たたりとか信じてますか？この辺りの人はね、結構信じてるんですよ。お社様のたたり。
Everyone's favorite slice of life comedy is back to bring us more joyous feel-good moments. I'm lying, of course. This season's reboot of Higurashi is here to remind you of the trust issues that you may have developed from the original, while featuring a ton of new material that wasn't included. For those who don't know, Higurashi follows the events that happen around Keiichi Maebara, a young boy who just moved to the very small town of Hinamazawa. In the beginning, Keiichi spent his time making and hanging around with friends, but everything changes when he learns of the grisly murder that took place in this little village. Additionally, none of his friends would ever give him details about what happened, which only added to his anxiety. At the town's yearly festival, Keiichi learns that there's been a death every year for 4 years, as a punishment for those who supported the project that almost put Hinamazawa underwater. As Keiichi dives deeper into this mystery, he finds that his new friends may not all be who they claim to be.
テレビアニメ「日暮らしの泣く頃に」2020年7月
Our runner-up on this list is The Journey of Elena. Now, this anime is pretty self-explanatory. Ever since our protagonist Elena was a child, she dreamed of living a life full of adventure. Now that she's become a full-grown witch, she sets off on her destinationless journey. Each episode will follow her traversing new and unique lands, all while meeting new people. From a country full of witches to a land of giants, each new encounter expands her world ever so slightly. This anime is different in comparison to the type of shows that you typically see nowadays. It's refreshing to see a show that focuses on a traveler and their day-to-day exports. Despite seeming outside of the norm of what most people would watch, this show's stellar art and overwhelming positivity that I've seen from manga readers makes it one of the animes that I'm most excited for. Surprised? Yeah, I didn't think so. The new Demon Slayer movie is easily one of the most hyped and anticipated anime movies of fall 2020, and maybe even this entire year. Demon Slayer was an anime that caught the world by storm with its hype action sequences, beautiful animation and art, as well as a cast of extremely likable characters. This movie is supposed to mark one of the major tonal shifts for Demon Slayer, resulting in the unfortunate demise of a ton of our favorite characters. While aiming to learn more about the Hinokami Kagura, our trio decided to board the Infinity Train with the Flame Hashira Rengoku and join him on his mission to defeat a demon who's been tormenting the other passengers and killing demon slayers who oppose it. This movie definitely looks like it's gonna be a roller coaster of emotions, so grab a bag of popcorn as well as your nearest box of tissues. There are still a ton of good anime that are coming out this season, so comment down below if you would like a part 2 to this list. This season definitely looks like it's going to be a highlight in this terrible year. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to check out some of my others and I'll catch y'all later.